I'm Washington Ali, and welcome to Project Become, a project uncovering the unspoken thoughts that stop us from living a life worth living. I'm not here to tell you what to do or who to be, and I certainly don't have the answers. I'm just hoping to uncover the secrets of the world while speaking with explorers, dreamers, thinkers, and creators. I hope we all find something that helps us accept who we've become, and find something that helps us create someone we are proud of becoming. I'm Washington Ali, and welcome to Project Become. Today, I'm joined by a really great friend and a very special guest to me, and that person is Ewan Corlett. Ewan is a trauma-informed, holistic men's coach and also therapist, and what he does is he helps men and also people liberate themselves from destructive emotional patterns to embody love and actualize their potential. And who Ewan is for me is someone who is gracious, someone who is so committed to the work, so committed to himself, so committed to transformation of the world, and also someone who's love, someone who screams abundance, and always someone who looks for a way forward in this world. So Ewan, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here, my bro. Yeah, thank you. I'd really love to hear how it is you would, who you are to the world, or how you show up as yourself to the world, rather than just how you show up for me.
Wow. I'm just kind of breathing in everything you just said there. Like, it's such a beautiful thing to hear the reflection of what it is you're trying to embody within yourself. It's been a long journey to kind of get to where I am in the last few years, and certainly in the last few months. So when a dear friend reflects back what I know to be true about myself, and yet there are parts to myself that still don't want to hear that still want to reject the truth. I'm just really leaning into that, as you said that, and giving myself permission to embody those truths that you said about me without ego, just in awareness that that's who I am. So I've forgotten what the question was, because I was just really leaning into the feeling of what you said, which was I'm slightly self-indulgent maybe, but not from an egotistic angle, just from do you know what I mean? Yeah. No,
I appreciate you appreciating that, like you're fully receiving that, and that's beautiful to even be witnessed, man. That's why I love you. You're able to take that time and just like appreciate what's there, and yeah, the question was really how do you show up for yourself? Who is Ewan?
How do I show up for myself? With increasing consistency to what it is I need in the world, and with patience, with tolerance. I wish I could say I find that as easy in my closest relationships. I find that much more challenging. But for me, I've been really going through in the last couple of years a real rebirth in understanding what's most important to me, and leaning into the shadows. So I show up for myself with curiosity in every day, in stillness when I wake. I move with yoga, I breathe deeply, I connect with my truth through the journal, whatever wants to come out. I try and feed myself better than I've ever done. Still don't get that right all the time, but freer of addictive tendencies than I've ever been. Whether those addictive tendencies be food, sex, drink and drugs left me a long time ago, 11 years nearly, and or relationships or elements of relationships, or the dependency that exists within me from childhood that I've been endeavoring to heal myself from over many years now, but I'm now learning how to hold myself in a depth of stillness, having had a very So Ewan, most of his life, Ewan has been highly strung, anxious, addicted, isolated, and so I'm really learning in deeper presence with myself what that has been, and now like learning to show up for myself in the way that I really need, not necessarily how parts of me want, but so Ewan is truly learning to love and honor himself in every aspect, and as a result of that, learning to love and honor those that I love properly as they deserve. Because I know it's a bit of a cliche, but the truth really is that, you know, you're only able to offer the love that you feel for yourself out into the world. And so yeah, I don't know if that, hopefully that answers.
Yeah, that got it. That really got it.
Probably overly answers it, doesn't it?
No, you hopped into some depths, and really what you shared there about who you are and also who you used to be, I think is really important, because that's where I wanted us to journey into first. You know, you said that you used to be isolated, addicted, and the third word I forgot. And really, could you share with us, like, before you came to, I guess, this openness, this realization, this curiosity that you have for yourself in life right now, who were what were the actions that were causing you to be isolated? What were the things that you were doing that were causing you to be addicted? And maybe if you will to dive into some of those patterns for yourself, and also what it may be common in other people in similar situations.
Okay, yeah, great question, big question. So I fell into addiction. I fell into addiction when I was a child, because it was my way of surviving. And by that, I mean, I learned how to escape my reality by any means necessary. And for me as a child, that was in fantasy. And I would say my core trauma wound was in birth, in separation from my mother, and not being able to, not feeling soothed in that most important moment of entering the world. Many of us, I mean, birth is traumatic for us all, of course. But owning my story, I've always struggled to understand why I became addicted, and why I felt so isolated, and why I always felt like I was on the outside looking in. And really coming to a greater calm in healing has enabled me to reflect and gain some clarity in and around that, and, you know, removing any blame from my upbringing, from society, and just really owning my own pain. And really, and that's really all it was, is there was these deep wounds, which are complex developmental wounds that I didn't feel I was able to soothe myself in. Having a anxious, avoidant attachment, anxious, I'm anxious all the time. Is this right for me? Can I be here? Should I be there? Is this person right? And an avoidant in, like, I can't be with the depth of my feelings. And so addiction showed up for me, like I say, in fantasy, and disappearing into stories, like properly being in the story, like, and then into my early teens in firstly smoking cigarettes, and then alcohol and cannabis, and then harder drugs. And yeah, I suppose that is the reality of what my addiction has been and still can be if I'm not looking after myself properly, is that I'm trying to escape a certain truth within my life or emotion that I'm struggling with, and I'm not and as a result, I'm not accepting who I am or who they are, or I'm at war within myself. I'm at war within my ego. When I come into my being and separate myself from my thinking and realize that I am not my thoughts, and that I am I am. Let's not go into that too much because I could go off on a completely tangent. Then all is well in the world, you know. But I suppose really, in answer to your question, is understanding what makes me tick, and then creating a life that is in alignment to what I need, right?
Yes.
And not trying to get those things in unhealthy ways, because trust, the world is pushing those unhealthy ways at us constantly. You know, here, do this, take that, do this, all distracting us from our deeper essence. You know, the essence of who we are when we come into existence. You know, this beautiful beam of love and light that is then domesticated by the world, that is conditioned in fear and lack and pain, and you know. So I am not those things, and yet those things are those imprints are within me. Yeah, but they do not dictate my life anymore fully. There's still work. Of course, life work, right? Shadows, the shadows that enable me to push a little bit further forward, to lean into the discomfort more and more and more. And the more I lean into the discomfort and transcend a little bit more, then the more I have to offer in love and guidance for others.
Amazing.
So I've kind of just gone on yeah.
That's
you
cool.
maybe need to bring it back in there. I don't.
There's something that really came up for me whilst you're speaking, and really the emotions that you go through when you're dealing with trauma, when you're dealing with major discomfort, and I'd love to hear just really what emotions you went through, and really what it is that you've done to maybe even soothe those emotions as well.
Strong physical, very strong physical sensations. Abandonment, that I'm going to die. Of course, the words that come forward aren't, or the emotion isn't experienced with that clarity, or at least, you know, without conscious awareness. During solid active addiction to drugs and alcohol for me, there was no conscious awareness to that feeling. There was just the thought and the obsession to use something to block out that gut-wrenching sensation of, and it literally, you know, right in the gut, like a stab in the gut, which I experience at times now still. Certainly since I had my operation a year and a half ago, where they cut a large portion of my stomach out and stapled me back together, there was a huge grieving in that. So coming back to the abandonment wound, it's the terror of not existing, anxiety, deep sadness, grief, a feeling of being lost, and really what I'm talking about is my lost inner child. You know, the fact I can't access cognitively my inner child in many ways, but I can. My body, which I believe is where, you know, the imprints of early life, where my inner child lives, where I hold my whole being lives, but if I want to access the lost inner child, then the journey is my inner child is through my somatic body, right? Like where am I feeling this anxiety? Okay, and then to breathe into those areas and to reassure that part of myself, because I think of my body as parts of myself, like, oh, that feeling's turning up, and a memory may pop in. Okay, so can I speak to myself at that age in this part as I breathe into this part of my body, and gradually becoming more and more whole. But the anxiety, terror, bewilderment, hopelessness, just a deep longing, a deep longing to be held, and just such a deep need for that I would abandon myself for it, you know.
Wow.
And so, which is sad. Like, that realization's come to me in the last year or so. Like, I had a intellectual understanding of it all, but the work is in the body. And so, you know, to really truly heal, we have to get back into the body, and that's can be really uncomfortable. It certainly has been for me. So yeah, man.
Receive that. How I receive that is like, I know when I feel anxious, or when my body tells me, you probably shouldn't do that, and that kind of like overwhelming. It's like a weight is there, you know, and what it sounds like is, in a very strange way, that addiction, or that whatever it is that you're clinging onto, for you saying it's alcohol and drugs, and other people it's TV, the phone, whatever. It's like when we cling onto those items, that weight disappears for a moment, or it becomes numbed, or whatever. It's like dissipates, or you forget about it because you're so enticed by whatever it is that's stimulating you, and then once you finish being stimulated, it returns, you know, and diving deeper into that darkness, my bro, you know, diving deeper into those sensations, and the only way that seems feasible, the only way that seems reasonable, is then reaching back out to whatever it is that addiction is, you know. I guess, what is it that, I guess we could speak personally, and I'd love for you to expand on just the generalities of what you've experienced in your counseling practice, in your coaching practice as well. What is it, do you think, that allows you and also other people to step away from that, to step away from reaching for what my mum would call a soother, or a dummy? What will allow people to step away from that and start doing the work that will actually make a difference to their life?
Great question. I just want to say, may we all learn to step away from stimulation, the dummy. Yeah. You know, we're getting sold a dummy. You know what I mean? You articulated it great. It's this temporary fix, this temporary distraction, and we know we're fooling ourselves deep down. If we slow down enough, we know, and it terrifies us.
Yes.
Oh, it's because we know that calling is the shadows. We can hear it within us, and as you said, that weight, that heaviness, that there's something more. There's something. Okay, just watch the next episode. Okay, it's gone again. I'm escaped my reality. Addicted to entertainment. You know, Netflix, movies,
yes.
But yeah, I mean, like we are a world of addicts, like full out addicts, and we think of addiction, don't we, as drugs and alcohol, or mainly just drugs and alcohol. We think of addiction, don't we? You know, but
everything else is okay, right?
Everything
else
is
fine.
okay. Yeah, like 5 cups of Costa every day, absolutely fine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm perfectly normal. I have a busy day.
I'm getting shit done. I'm getting shit done. I've been there. Like, listen, anyone listening, like I'm not like, you know, find your happy. You know what I mean? But are you being honest with yourself about your happy, or are you fooling yourself? And so, in answer to your question about working with people in what they need to begin to start to break that cycle, first of all, they need to be witnessed in their truth. But of course, the amount of shame that many of us carry, that encompasses our truth, needs to be gradually picked away and broken down. And for some people, that can happen very quickly. Other people, it can happen gently, slowly. And for some people, it needs to happen slowly and gently, I believe, to be held metaphorically by a professional coach, therapist, group, whatever, within which the person struggling with the avoidance really is what we're just talking about, isn't it? That they can begin to experience a calm in their nervous system. They can begin to change their normal. They can begin to see the reality of their avoidance. But as she's beginning to journey into that shift, and I speak for myself in my own journey, was incredibly difficult. But I mean, I was in the pits of active alcoholism, for someone who just drinks a lot of coffee or smokes cigarettes, it might not need to be quite so catastrophic, but something needs to break. I do think that something needs to break. Like there has to be a moment. For me, there was like a moment of realization and then action, stepping in to that, and just starting to talk, starting to listen to the solution rather than the problem. And a lot of the time, the problem is our thinking, right? And the fact that we're sat in our heads, listening to our thoughts, following our thoughts. And if we can externalize our thoughts and have a mirror, you being my mirror, I say, right, Washington, I'm going to throw this stuff out there, and you're going to say, oh, this is what I'm hearing you say. And then I'm hearing myself back and I'm going, shit, that sounds crazy. Like, like what, why am I, is that the truth? Crikey, is that the truth? And then begin to sink into the realization that we are not our thoughts, and that our thoughts are guided by all of the pathologies of the world, right? Think of, and this is a strong word, and it might ruffle people's feathers, but I'm going to say it anyway. The parasite of fear in our world, which shows up everywhere. It's just everywhere.
Yes.
It's in everything. The answer, love, right? So really, I mean, to encapsulate what does an individual need to experience to start breaking those patterns, they need to experience a true reflection of the love that already exists within them. Yeah, that can come in any way, but for me it came by going, shit, man, I'm going to die. I can't do this anymore. Can you help me? That moment for me changed everything. Like that, breaking through the shame of what it was as a man to ask for help, right? Men or women struggle with asking for help, but I do believe for us men, it's a lot harder. I don't want to go down that avenue. I'm talking specifically about men, but asking for help, beginning to talk, changing what you do, right? Changing what you do is fundamental to change the patterns. Yeah. Yes. I've said a lot there, haven't I?
Yeah, it's powerful. Really, really powerful. I think that you've guided us through the journey of really what it's like to experience it, what it's like to live with it, and also I guess now what it's like to reach the point to get to the other side, and many people, so many people that I've been speaking to on Project Become have consistently shared that they all reached a point, and they all went through. I've spoken to a few people who got to near death experiences. Other people contemplating suicide, contemplating death. Other people having the bodily sensation that they will die if they carry on this way, like how you're sharing. And I guess I'm really interested in, like, what is it that who is it that helps you? Who is it that said, were you the first person to reach out for help, or did someone come and save you? Or come say hi? I need, you know?
Great question. I had lots of messengers throughout my late teens and throughout my whole 20s who were telling me the truth of my situation. You're an alcoholic, and if you carry on drinking like that, you're going to kill yourself. I also had all of the experiences which showed me the truth: the hospitalizations, the police visits, the way I showed up abusively in relationship, the way I didn't know how to hold down any form of relationship, the fact that I had become isolated. So all of these experiences, but all of the people that were guiding me were the people that loved me, the people that had the courage to say, this is the truth, and I'm prepared to tell you the truth. I'm not going to enable you. I'm going to hold a mirror up so you can really see that you're destroying yourself. And then from that point, like, that was slowly filtering in, you know, and breaking through the layers of denial about, well, it can't be the alcohol. It can't, because alcohol was my savior. Alcohol is what enabled me to get by. And we got to acknowledge this with addiction. These, you know, we're addicted for and it working for us to a point until we get to that breaking point. But in answer to your question, the people then, from the point that I picked up the phone and rang Alcoholics Anonymous, it was the people that I met in those rooms that held me unconditionally, that showed me a structure by which to live my life, and brought me into alignment with love, with God. I'm not a religious man, but with something greater than myself, right? With the connection that I found in those rooms, then opened me up to realizing, okay, I also need some more help here. Like, I need some therapy. I need some additional support, because I'm keep breaking emotionally and I don't know what to do with it. And the people that love me, my partner, my mother and father, my brother and sister, my friends. I made, the friends that I made through AA are lifelong friends that will always, more than a handful, like loads, that would be there for me in a second, and I would be there for them in a second. The brotherhood and the sisterhood, but predominantly the brotherhood that I experienced from those men is profound, and we share in a common peril, that still follows me today. This is the thing. I really want listeners to understand this. But when you suffer deeply with I don't want, in Alcoholics Anonymous, call it the illness of addiction, but it really is the disease of disconnection, of separation, of isolation, of I am unloved and there is no one for me in this world that loves me or will take care of me. And that's a lie, of course, but it's what the parts of myself that were addicted believed, and the parts of myself that I'm still reaching more deeply want to come in and go, no one likes you, no one loves you, you're and counteracting that and continuing, like now, like in the last few years since I joined this world of Instagram, and like, oh my God, like the people, the people that I've met through Instagram have changed my life on such a profound level, like opened me up to practices and ways of being that I've never would have discovered if it wasn't through Instagram and the internet. So there are people now, my coach who lives in Mexico, who I'm not working with currently, but other coaches around the world who I've worked, who I've asked for their help and paid for a lot of money for their help. And I say a lot of money because, we really need to invest in ourselves, right? If we want to grow and evolve and heal, then we need to invest in ourselves. It requires an investment of time and attention, but also finance. I don't know where I'm going with that, but
well,
I suppose
Allow
that's
me-
a message to go on. Yes, please.
Yeah, I think for me, I see it as being willing to contribute to yourself in a way that, I guess, something's on the line for you. And I don't think I've recently had a change of heart in the terms of how much money I need to be spending or even need to be charging people for them to really have an impact through my coaching. I think what the money allows for is for them to almost give something in exchange of the energy. And of course, I've coached people for free, and I'm sure you have too, you know, and with some people that energy exchange is just enough for them. And for other people, that commitment of putting the money there as well is something that's really big. Maybe they've never done it before, and it's almost like a momentum pusher, you know, and I think that it also allows the person who's paying, as I've been in that position many times as well, to say that, hey, no, I need help, and the help is here. And the person I believe that can help me, has to find a way to live as well, you know, and it's contributing to that person that you believe can actually guide you into the direction that you want to head into. You know, it's much more than just the money. It's not saying that the person you're contributing to needs the money, but it's also a way of offering something to that other person as well, you know, whilst also honoring yourself, your word, your hard-earned resources to be able to contribute and make something of something, you know. So yeah, I just wanted to add that.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100% on that. Agree completely with you on that. There needs to be an energy exchange, and in our current world, you know, if we as healers or coaches or whatever we want to call ourselves are giving a lot of our energy and time over, there needs to be a financial exchange because it takes a lot of energy, and we need to live, essentially, right?
Yeah, man.
I think that I think there's a lot of belief that, and I know we may be going off tangent here a little bit, but that all healing should be free. We live in a monetized world, right, where there is an exchange of service for funds, and so I'm not quite sure where this belief that
healers should be poor.
It's like it's not easy work. Well, I mean, it's challenging work because we're constantly having to challenge ourselves to go deeper within ourselves. You know, Carl Rogers said you can only take an individual as far as you've taken yourself. And so if you're growing in the practice of therapy, coaching, whatever, then you need to be pushing yourself to your edge to heal. Because I'm a true believer in leading by example, like practicing what I preach. Now, I don't always get it right, and I come off the track sometimes and slack off at times. Yeah. But, you know, it's me holding myself accountable and having people in my life that help me to hold myself accountable so I can be that example to those that I serve. But I think that it's a difficult conversation around money when it comes to these things because, yes, a large proportion of our society can't afford certain fees. And should that mean that level of service is not available to them? Well, no, I don't believe it should. But then how do we navigate that in a way that, like you say, means that the individual is investing sufficiently for it to mean something? Do you know what I mean? For it to mean something, because you can go, oh well, this is the investment, and go, oh, I can afford that, and then and then suddenly not be turning up because they're not fully invested, right?
You know, I listened to this audiobook a couple of days ago. I forgot what it's called now, but it's a great book on miracles and shit like that. And the guy was saying that so there was this speaker in America who hosted two exactly the exact same events, and he hosted one at a lower ticket price, so that for those who could afford it could come. Yet what that did was negate the people who thought that, well, a high level of healing is going to come at a higher price, right? And so he negated all of those people, and then I think it was 2 weeks or 2 months later, what he did was he hosted the exact same event for the exact for I think I forgot how much it was, but it was definitely more expensive, and he hosted the event for those people, and I think it's what's really interesting is that I guess it's just the perception of the person who's coming to do the work, and then also what myself as the coach stands for in terms of what I believe is what the work I'm conducting worth. You know, what's in alignment to me, and to hop onto a tangent. I think there's this belief that because you've dedicated yourself to healing, that you yourself must be rid of all worldly possessions, like Jesus and even Buddha, how he went from being a prince to being a pauper, and then finding and what people don't get is that the middle ground of it all, you know, the middle ground of actually no, we live in the world as is, you know, and that doesn't mean the world can't be shifted, yet it doesn't mean that you have to create a new rule for the world. You can you can still live in the world and participate in the game that is the world, yet you can still participate in your own world, in your own way, while still participating in reality. You know, you can be someone who is completely compassionate, super bubbly, introverted, extroverted, whatever it is, and still be a great contribution to society in a way that's loving and caring. You don't necessarily have to have lots of money, and you don't necessarily have to be extremely poor. And I think that with the way that we've been taught, or the way that religion has taught us, religion has said, well, the way that we've perceived religion to have taught us, has been that no, only the most righteous or most humble or the most great people are broke. When if you look at it really, like the Vatican is like the richest state in the whole entire world. The Vatican, like, that's where the Pope lives, bro. Like, what's that? And if people really start to ask these questions, and I'm not going to get into the conspiracy theory stuff side of things, but it's like, well, why is there so much money there? You know? And I think that it's because I don't actually know why I think that. But I think it's something to pay attention to, because they provide millions, maybe even billions of people healing on a daily basis, hope on a daily basis, a way to live their life in a way that is I'm going to say honorable, because that's the word that comes to my mind right now, on a daily basis. And I think that money itself, like, as you were saying, it's an energy exchange, nothing more, nothing less, you know. And I love that. What's popping into my mind right now is what's the difference between therapy and coaching? And I know
this is such a common question, isn't it? I love this question. It's great.
I think it's a great question.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think of coaching as, you know, you're working towards a clear goal, and that goal or goals are clearly defined from the outset. I feel like the container of work is a set piece of time. It's clearly defined. We're gonna go through this to this to this to this to this to this, and we're hopefully going to arrive here, provided that you're fully invested, and that you show up fully present. Counselling therapy is from my practice, which is person-centered integrative, is about inviting the individual to just show up where they are in that present moment, to bring whatever it is they need to bring, and for me to follow them gradually so they can experience my empathy, my regard, my congruence, the core conditions, to be fully seen and heard in their subjective reality, that they can begin to accept themselves gradually. And therapy, in the way I practice, is open-ended. Majoritively speaking, the people I work with have experienced developmental trauma.
What's that?
So developmental trauma is the disturbance. It's the disturbance of a healthy development through the early, most informative years, usually resulting from neglect or abuse or any kind of strong emotional, psychological patterns that have been imprinted on the psyche in those early years, which are creating this relational disturbance for the individual now, making it very hard to have healthy, balanced relationship with themselves and with others. And that's a really loose explanation. I've kind of lost my train of thought.
You're sharing about your practice.
So the work is in therapy. The work is open-ended in the way I practice. It's not about me delivering a program. Yeah, that's the way I think of it. It's like with my coaching, I'm delivering a program, and the practices are going to be much more diverse. We're gonna lean into more embodiment work. We're going to do a lot more breathing. We're going to do a lot more visualization and meditation. You're going to feel challenged strongly, and you're going to experience my empathy, my congruent, all of the stuff you experience from me in therapy. But I bring my full being, and when I say that, I bring energy to the moment. Where sometimes with therapy, it is a lot of the time is really just sitting back a lot more, just allowing, which there is in coaching as well. But I'm not sure if that answers the question. This is a question that. This is a question that I get asked a lot, and it's like, I keep thinking, I should really sit down and write a thesis on this. No, I don't I think I should actually clearly define it. I think it needs to be clearly defined, because therapy is healing and coaching is healing. Why are we here? To heal and to realize our true self-realization, true liberation. If that comes through therapy, coaching, whatever you want to hang your hat on, as long as you're moving in that direction, and that the individual who enters into the counseling therapy agreement or the coaching agreement is clear about the expectations within that relationship. Because here's the thing, the similarity between therapy and coaching is that they both provide a relationship container within which for healing and progress to create, to be born, right? So there are so many similarities to it. And I was talking to my mentor about this, actually. I was like, I'm still a therapist, but I also offer coaching. So I'm a therapist and I'm a coach. And she said, you're a hybrid healer. And I'm like, yes,
I love that.
That's what I am. I'm a hybrid healer. I'm about helping people heal by which method is most suitable to their current situation. And for some people that come to me, the answer to that is therapy, because they just need that gentleness to be held, to gradually explore their subjective reality. And for others, they're further down the line and they're ready to dive real deep into the shadows and get, I was going to say get dirty, but get dirty, get into the thick of it. Let's break through those walls. In the coaching that I offer, I'm helping you break through those walls to purge that emotion, to release, to really release, to integrate, to connect heart to heart. And I say that's another clear difference, is the boundaries around therapy and coaching. I will bring my own story and my own stuff in coaching. In therapy, I will not, because it's all about me being with and experiencing that individual's subjective reality. I think that's enough. I could talk. That's enough. Yeah.
Thanks, bro. Modalities of practice, because there's so many ways to do so many things, and I think what I'm really interested in is you sharing to everyone else really what it is that you use in your daily life, your daily practice, and I know you do yoga. I know you're really into your breath, and I've seen recently you're in the fucking ocean a lot, bro. Like you're in the ocean a lot. So yeah, could you please share with us about all of those things?
Can't get enough of the sea, man. Yeah, can't get enough of it. That's a whole rebirth thing for me. You know, I'll talk about that in a sec. So yeah, so my day starts with yoga, then meditation, a little bit of gentle breath work with the meditation. Then I go for a walk, and I do some Wim Hof. I'll go for my walk, and then I'll sit down with nature. I'll do some Wim Hof, really get me into my presence, out of my mind, out of any little thoughts that are wanting to come in and trying to lead me away from my presence and my just nature. And then I go home, I have some breakfast, then have a shower. I'll do some journaling, just some basic check-in with myself. I'll have a shower, and then I'll get dressed and start work. And other practices that have been massive. So meditation is huge for me. Journaling is huge. Visualization is part of a meditation practice. Holotropic breath work, neurodynamic breath work, conscious.
Wait, what is that? What is that? What is that?
There's just so many different. Holotropic breath work is the big subconscious opener. You know, just melt away the subconscious. So it's two-step breath into the belly, into the chest, and out. So. With music, that playlist that is created, and you go, you know, it just melts the ego away. It's the ego killer, kills the ego, and then whatever needs to come through comes through, and your own inner guidance system takes over. Not mainstream yet. Do you know what I mean? Not mainstream yet. Stan Groff discovered it, or started playing around with it back in the 60s, as a result of the awareness that was coming through about using psychedelics for healing.
Okay.
And so psychedelics open up the subconscious, right? And so all this does is exactly the same, but not to the extent that psychedelics do, because this is through the breath, and you're constantly in control of the breath, so you can bring it down or you can bring it up. And for me, it's enabled me to get more deeply in touch with my body and to purge emotion, to release trauma. It's very, very good for releasing trauma. When you're ready, for people with a lot of developmental trauma, PTSD, complex PTSD, bipolar, a long list of people with quite challenging stuff, they would need to lean into that work very gently. Because it is we're basically re-traumatizing the system to push through the barriers. So that's a little intro on holotropic breathwork. But I mean, there are so many people delivering this type of stuff out there now. There's neurodynamic breathwork. There's the conscious connected breathwork. There's the rebirthing breathwork. I mean, my opinion on them is that very, very similar. But breathwork is vast and expansive, and so. It's like the Thai saying, same but different. Do you know what I mean? But then yes. so breathwork, like really where it's at for me moving forward is in embodiment work, somatic experiencing, understanding we hold emotion in our body, that the story that we hold from our childhood and adolescence, our whole life story, we're holding it in our body, taking us out of the mind into the body. And sea swimming, getting in the sea and cold water exposure is very much about that. Like Wim Hof says, out of the mind, into the body, deeply in and let it go. And so we come home. I come home to the body, man. And really, Washington, that's what's the last year and a half has been for me, because I'd done so much therapy work and so much healing work, and I thought I was so much further down the line than I actually was. And then they came in, they found a 6 centimeter tumor in my stomach, opened me up, cut me open, pulled it out, and I thought, I'll be all right in 6 weeks. Completely transformational. I found I don't know whether the cold found me or I found the cold. Much like Wim Hof when he discovered the cold through the loss of his wife, right? In his grief, he was awakened by the cold, and that's my story is so similar to that. Hopefully, we have to go into the body. We have to go into the body, out of the mind, into the body, out of the mind, into the body. The mind is a tool. We are not a mind. We live in an egocentric world that is driven by mind, an unhealthy mind, a traumatized mind. So the way is love, right? The way is always love. Back into the heart, back into the body, out of the mind into the heart, out of the mind into the heart. To live from that place. And what keeps me in that place is the breath work, the yoga, the journaling, the meditation, the cold water exposure. Those are fundamental practices that I will coach any individual upon. And I might give clients, I might give therapy clients a suggestion of that. Like maybe have you ever heard of that? You thought about giving that a try. It might help you. Whereas within the coaching, I would go, right, this is what we're doing. You're going to do, or I would say, like, are you open to? And then like this is what you're going to do. Once, do you know what I mean? Like, and people need that, right? People need that. If they want that, then I can provide that. And if anyway,
it sounds like coaching, and even within the breath work, it's like you're asking for the permission of the other person to say, hey, are you open to this? And they say yes, and then what you bring forth in that interaction is a wave of energy, a wave of momentum, so instantaneously that person can use use your energy to ignite their journey. And even in therapy, it seems as if of course in coaching, you're allowing that person to discover their own journey and discover themselves. In therapy, it seems as if you're really allowing that person to be grounded in their thoughts, their emotions, their truth, and whatever it is that's occurring, not just as judgment, but as assessment, so that they can have more clarity in what it is that they're thinking, more clarity in the emotions and the complexity of what's going on within their body. And of course, you still offer that in coaching, but it seems like therapy really allows this, and not even greater, that's the wrong word to use, but it allows that space for that person to recover, is what I'm getting from what's coming up for me in my mind. Would you agree with that? Or
I like the way you put that. I'm with you 100% on that. Definitely.
Amazing.
Man.
Great, man. Great.
I like how you framed that, the flow, to be within the coaching, to be a conduit. And that's what I love about that, is to be that conduit of energy so that it's happening through me rather than by me, as me. I'm getting that's all all that Michael B. Beckwith, to me, victimhood mindset, through me, to me, by me, through me, as me. There's we won't get into that, but as me, the one consciousness, there's no separation. This is just flowing through you and I. This is the power of love. This is not dependent on anything. This is not mine. It's not yours. It's not attached to anything. It is just an energy that I am enabling through the breath, through the presence, to allow to move through me, so it can move through you. Can you feel it?
Yes.
You feel me? Can you feel that? If you can feel that,
so
then that's that. Then that's that, right? I mean, honestly, the trick is how do we stay there? How do we stay in that fucking, and I'm going to swear, don't care, that fucking love, man, that beautiful, beautiful love that is just an ocean within us, an ocean within us. It's not out there. It's not out there. It's in here. Like, you know, one of the greatest lies that we've ever been sold is the Hollywood, you complete me. You know, don't get me wrong. I believe there are soulmates for us to meet, connect with, and grow and develop and learn to be vulnerable and evolve. Yeah, 100%. Then we get to experience that love on such a profound level. But the idea that you need something outside of yourself to complete you, that's the biggest lie. And that's what keeps us coming back round to addiction. That's what keeps us trapped in that loop of addiction. Like, when I have that car, when I have that relationship, when I buy that house, when I go on that holiday,
when I lose weight,
lots of people, when I lose weight, then I'll love, then I'll feel love, then I'll be complete, and so the cycle goes. And you know, we're trapped in our reptilian brain, being sold the addictive process, and we listen to the monkey mind and we follow the thoughts. I need this. I need that, and we're blind to the truth. Yes. And it's sad, man. It really is sad. Like, we're going through a real awakening right now, aren't we? Like, we're going through a real. I don't think about it too much. It's not constructive to think about it, but I feel about it in the sense that I get a feeling like I know what's coming, and it does scare me. It does scare me.
Oh my goodness, yes.
But at the same time, I mean, but I'm excited by love, and so that's what the world needs, love. And so let's just keep practicing that, man. Let's just keep being a conduit for that, right? Like you are, as I see you are. You know, you're just a reflection of me, and I'm just a reflection of you. And yeah, big hearts.
Yeah, man. Thank you. So we're coming up to the end of this part of the conversation, and really, for me, what Project Become is every person that comes on is a project. I'm a project, you're a project, in the sense of your being, in the sense of what it is you're creating in the world. I would like for you to use the space to declare who it is that you are going to become, and also what you think is going to become of the world.
I was going to say I'm going to become a force for good, but I already am a force for good. But I'm gonna expand upon the love. And how can you expand on love when love is just so it expands? I suppose what I'm saying is that I'm going to spend the rest of my life living in my heart, giving from my heart, unapologetically. You know. Meeting fear, hate, disillusionment with love, to show others how to connect to that which is already within them, that they just are blocked by fear, by pain. So I'm going to be me, you know. It's going to be me, like, and who is me? Me is enough, just the way I am. And me is able to help you to see that you're enough, just as you are. And that anything else is just the neuroses of the mind and the trapped energy in the body. And that together we can get there, because we heal and grow better together. And so I'll just keep on bringing people together. And also I will continue to be part of, because I am in need of support. I am in need of love. And so I will be open to receive. The more I am open to receive, the more I will be open to give. Yeah, and what that looks like, I mean, that looks like me continuing to deliver group work for men, continuing to deliver embodiment coaching for men and probably women moving forward as well, but currently I'm focused on men. Currently continuing to, in some capacity, to deliver the developmental trauma therapy that I deliver, and also beginning to talk on the stage, because I do have this hunger to be on the stage. Just getting to grips with that, trying to lean into that more, and delivering workshops, retreats, stuff like that. I'm really motivated to get out into the world and bring people off the computer into physical spaces together, because the power of, you know, this as a medium is very powerful, but being in each other's space physically is
even
another
more
thing together. Yeah, like we experienced when we met up, didn't we?
Yeah, literally. No, that was amazing day. Amazing day.
It was a great day. Yeah,
we'll definitely do it again soon.
Sure thing, man.
What do you think is going to become of the world, Ewan?
Oh yes, I missed that bit, didn't I? Well, just acknowledging sadness. I feel a lot. I'm very sensitive. I'm a very sensitive human being. I feel everything in its intensity, and all my life I've tried to change that, because I thought it was too much for others, that I was too much, and now I embrace it. So what is to become of the world is to feel. That's what I would like for the world. For the world to learn to feel everything without fear, to know that that there need be no fear in feeling it all. That the world, that we may learn to really hold each other in everything, in every truth, you know, to be able to place ourselves to one side and to hold another. This is something I'm still really learning how to do in close relationship. But that would be the world that we live in, and that we're less focused on what we have and more focused on how we love. You know, and that we go back to sitting around the campfire, singing songs, you know, like connecting from the heart. Just getting away from the egoic mind that has to do and get and be. What am I being? Who am I being? Am I, you know, all of that. Like just strip it all back, because when we come to that place, I think that there could be true peace and harmony on earth. And I think in many pockets on earth there that's already happening. There is a lot of that happening, and free of war, free of destruction. I do think that we need some of that. You know, it's a funny old one. You know, thinking of like a divine utopia. Not, you know, maybe. You know, Eckhart Tolle said that, you know, until the human race transcends the egoic mind, we are destined to destroy ourselves. I mean, how close are we to transcending the egoic mind right now? I mean, if we've only got, I mean, how long, like, so with climate change, etc., how long we got left is the egoic transcendence better happen quick. Do you know what I mean? We better, yeah. So
I heard somewhere that it only takes 10% of the population to tip the rest of the population.
Wow. Love that. So that's my vision, to just focus on the 10%.
Amazing. Listen, Ewan, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you, man.
It's been fantastic. It's been wonderful. We've dived in so many different directions: money, spirituality, past, addiction, trauma. So much is really in here. Before you go, please tell people where you can find you, and also where they can find you. Are you open? Are you currently taking people for your coaching right now? Just please let us all know.
Yeah, cool. So you can find me on Instagram, Ewan_Corlett. That's the main place I hang out. I'll be expanding out into LinkedIn, etc. moving forward. You'll be able to get in touch with me, obviously, through Instagram. Send me an email or book a free connect call. You can also come and check out the men's group that I hold bi-weekly on a Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. UK time. I've got lots of other stuff in the pipeline. I do have one coaching spot available at present, but potentially a second one opening up soon. Therapy-wise, I'm full. But if anything that I've shared has really resonated for you, and you think I'd just like to connect with this guy, bounce some questions off of him, whatever you need, if I can help, I will. If I can point you in the direction that you're needing, I will. And
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Until next time, bro. Until next time.
Until next time, yeah. Nice one, Washington.